Again, first question. If you're elected mayor, what will you recommend be done, if anything, to the penny sales tax increase?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to increase that. I think that was not a good way to bring revenue into the city. You know, since the mayor decided the penny tax, that's not something that I'm going to do. I will not raise taxes. I don't think that the penny tax has proven out to be the resource for revenue that the current mayor thought. Now we're finding we still need more money. It's not enough. So I don't want to raise taxes to build revenue. So the penny tax to me is a failure. It's not something that would have been something I would have done the first time to raise revenue for the city of Mobile.
Okay.
So I'm not a good that's not a good topic, because when I heard that, I go, that's not going to be enough. Or he could have said, let's do a 3-cent. Let's always have a penny just in case it's not enough, just to roll over. But I don't think you want to gamble with individuals' lives and with the city of Mobile. You always need to come up with something solid, something that has a revenue base, and something that can be measured. Just like a fraction, a numerator and a denominator. Okay, this is large, this is small. How can we do this? So I'm very mathematical when it comes to making decisions for the people in the city.
Okay, question number 2. According to the CDC, 2/3 of adults in the Mobile area are overweight or obese. Only 17% of our low-income citizens live within a mile of a grocery store. So it's far easier for them to buy liquor, cigarettes, and junk food than it is to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. Experts refer to this as a food desert. What can you do as mayor to get grocery stores into low-income neighborhoods?
That's easy. I can open up one myself. I think people need accessibility to things. And I am willing to work with food markets such as Winn-Dixie and Piggly Wiggly to come into the local neighborhoods. One of the things that I'm doing is putting up a French market, but that's in the downtown area. That's not directly in the individual neighborhoods. I think the small stores, like there's a small store over on Ziegler. That store could carry the fruits and the vegetables and the things that people need. Currently, they don't have that. But I want to make things accessible for the people. So that means that I will work with the agriculture department here to try to get fruits and vegetables within the reach of the small community-based stores. Because if they don't have a car, they can't get to Winn-Dixie or Piggly Wiggly or Publix, or, you know, they can't get there. So I want to make sure that people have access to the proper food and the proper things they need within their neighborhoods by helping those small neighborhood stores have those kinds of things there. And we do have an obesity problem because we're not educated about what we need to buy. I think people who are on food stamps need to understand that, you know, buy something a little more healthier. You could have chips, but let's look at veggie chips. Let's look at ways we could get children to start to learn about nutrition at an early age. That's a big, big problem, because if people don't know what to eat, and if they are obese, that affects their learning. If you go to school and you've had 15 candy bars, you know, you're bouncing off the wall. So it's very hard to sit in a language arts class and have an interest, because you're spinning because of the sugar content. So I think one of the things that I want to do personally, being that I've been in the food industry for 30 years, is work with the Mobile school systems, because I've worked in the school system. I've been at high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools for 8 years. And there's a common denominator. People really, the kids really don't understand about a proper, balanced meal. So as the mayor, I would be the first person to go over to the Mobile School District on Schillinger and say, let's put a program together within all the schools so that kids will at least have the proper education to learn about food and nutrition.
Okay, number 3. Many successful cities like Chattanooga, Tennessee, for example, have invested in green space and other quality of life issues. Considering the addition of Airbus to Mobile, how can you improve the quality of life in such a way that those people who work in Mobile also want to live in Mobile?
Well, we want to make it safer. And first of all, there's nothing here in Mobile to attract people to stay here. And one of the things that I think when people look for a home, a place to live, they're looking at their religion, they're looking at their schools, they're looking at the stores, they're looking at all the things that make a municipal city a place to live. The first thing I would do is what I did when I got here. I went to look for a cruise ship. I went to look for a shopping store, a market downtown. I went to look for small businesses in the downtown area. That did not exist here. And remember, I lived in the Motor City. I lived where it all was, and I saw it all evaporate. And then I've been traveling to other major countries to see what's in their downtown area and what's within their community. One thing I want to do is bring back the old horse and buggy rides downtown. I want people to be able to come to Mobile for tours and different things and take a ride down to the Oakley district and ride down Mobile and see what's going on. And the empty buildings, should I become mayor, I've been driving all over. They go, what are you looking for? I said, empty buildings. And there's a lot of empty buildings. And I want to make sure that all those empty buildings have a business located within them with residents from the city for at least 18 months free. And I have a very special incentive program for those business owners. They're paying taxes on the empty building. That's not good for the city. So people looking to come, it's nothing here. Like over the bay, they have water parks and they have this and that. We don't have that here. And I think that's because of the current administration's vision about what's needed within a major city. Airbus and the people coming here, we want them to buy here, live here, and shop here. And I think we need to make all of these things accessible so that we can be a family town with a lot of things going on, barbecues and shows and events and car shows and conventions and parks and Little League baseball programs. I was in Empire. I've been a member of the Baseball Empire Association. They used to always call me for a game. They said, you're letting too much go. I said, it's revenue. What do you think? So I'm bad when it comes to doing stuff. You know, I want everybody to have a good time, and I would be crying like, I know, I thought I saw that. You know, so I had to leave that alone. But I think if you're having fun and you're bringing things in as a family, something for the children, something for the adults, and something for the seniors, that would be great. I also have put in free parking on Wednesdays in the downtown area, and I have for the summer months free ice cream for the seniors. I'm 60, so at 80 I want my ice cream cone.
You have to wait till 80.
I do, because I plan on being the mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, but I just think those kinds of things would make it comfortable for people to feel that they can come here. The business community has opened their arms to help, and I want the business community to work with the schools. We don't want the separation anymore. I want businesses to be involved in the public, especially the Mobile school systems. We need to put that together so that we can work together as a team. Our businesses are involved with the education of our kids, and that's really important to me.
Okay. Number 4, census figures show that more people in Mobile actually walk to work than ride public transit. What pressure can you exert as mayor to make public transportation more accessible to those who need it?
We're going to start, our buses are going to go to 1, 2:30 in the morning. You know, most cities have buses in the city well into 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and some go all night. And I think we need to expand transportation for people to get to and from work. So that means that we will be hiring new bus drivers and working to put more funds over in the transportation department so that people can do that. And I'll tell you something about buying a used car. I liked a lot of the used car places, but I'm going to call them in for a meeting. If it's $200 down, like I've heard on TV, and it's $125 a month for a car, that's what I want to see. I don't want $300 down and a $400 car note when you get there. So I want to make sure I'm going to meet with them. Because I personally went to some, and I was like, wait a minute, you told me $200 down, and when I got over there, it was $400 a month and $1,000 down. See, we want to do things the right way. Because if someone's excited about getting a car, and they're excited, and they got that $200, they want them to hold true to their word. So I want to make sure that we work with the used car dealerships and the car dealers, the regular car dealers as well, and we will be expanding bus transportation.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 5. What can you do as mayor to get and keep a cruise ship in Mobile?
Be kind to them. That's something that, being in the hospitality business, you know, cruise ships are for fun, hospitality, and excitement. And they give people that dream for 7 days that they never will get in their life. And I think that one of the things I want to do is bring a cruise ship here permanently. And then also, one of the things that I'm looking at is building the Mobilian ship. We're building ships here every day. Mobile can build their own ship. This ship will stay here. It's not as big as a cruise ship. But I do believe that with the kind of revenue that I'm looking to bring in, we will have the Mobilian ship here. And that ship will be built right here with the greatest shipbuilders in America, right here in the city of Mobile. So that's one of the things. But until that time, I want to make sure that the cruise ships stay here. We're going to have appreciation days at the cruise ship. We're going to have days that all the employees that work on the cruise ship, that they can come here and have lunch and they can walk downtown. We want to show them that we appreciate them being here. And I think the cruise ship left because of that.
All right, number 6. About a third of the young people in Mobile live below the poverty line. Considering that poor males are twice as likely to get arrested as others, and that poor females are 5 times more likely to have a child out of wedlock, how can you as the mayor address the societal and the economic problems posed by poverty in the city?
Stop the madness. Okay. I think personally, education will be a way that I would target that, because you will find that if a child is born to a family where there is a single mother and that mother had that child at 13, it's a societal problem. It's just a continuation of something that started back in the 50s. I would like to offer programs on a high school level and offer programs with the Boys and Girls Clubs. I want to offer programs with yacht clubs and country clubs that focus on family. I think people need to see another side. I think when you're poor and when you're on the other side, that's the only side you see. That's all you know. There's another side to life that requires you to have wonderful, nice things. But most people who are poor, who are below the poverty level, they have never ever been to a country club. They have never ever been on a cruise ship. They have never ever been anywhere but 2 blocks away from their home. And this is all they know. So it's almost like north meets south, south meets west. 2 things going to happen. If this continues, as we make money and we become more powerful and this and that and all those wonderful things, we get sick. We have to go inside of a nursing home or a care facility. We need to look at the people who are caring for us. If you don't have a good education and you didn't do all the good things and you didn't learn, you've got to look at the behavior. I worked at a nursing home when I was in high school. It was a military hospital over on Riverside Bluff. It's a big military hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. And one of the things that my high school required me to do was to go over there to volunteer. And I used to see people just roll people in a wheelchair and leave them out there. I said, they're going to roll in the water. What are you doing? You know? And then, oh, that's okay. And I'm like, gee. Now remember, I'm 16 years old, and I'm like, that's not right. So I'm saying, again, we need to educate people about kindness, about courtesy, and then what your job is, what your responsibilities are. And hopefully that will be one way that we can maybe stop some of the madness, so to speak. I think having sex before marriage is not a great thing. And a lot of that is happening. That's why we're having so many kids having babies, because they're having sex at 10 and 12 years old. And they're having babies at 13. That needs to stop. They need to understand that we need to do things a little different way. But we can talk to them all day. But if they don't comprehend it and they don't see how it's going to affect their lives, they're not going to adhere to the standards. So there again, the best way, it's not like, okay, I'm going to give you sexual, I don't want to use the term condoms. You go out and buy condoms and you pass them out. They have done that in some high schools in America. I was totally against that, because I didn't think that was this thing. It's okay to do that. I think for me, I'm just one of these old ladies that's sticking to old-fashioned values about making sure that you are married, making sure you have the proper educational skills, and make sure you understand the logistics of public health. I think if you look at the types of diseases that are being transferred now, it's a lack of education. And we need to educate our kids, send them to seminars as early as 7 or 8 years old. I mean, that's kind of early, but there are cartoons and books and different things out there to get kids to say, I wonder what this is. So I think the only way we can really get a grip on this type of problem is that we provide the necessary education and make sure that we follow up. If you're a parent, then we want you to be responsible for your child, male or female. And that's not something that I'm seeing a lot of. Kids having babies, parents letting the kids just run wild. Those kinds of things need to be revised. I'm not saying any parent is bad. I'm not saying any male or anybody, your children are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if we can work together as a business, work together with the schools, partnership with local businesses, and have maybe educational seminars that focus on family development. What is a family now? Let's just give the kids the kind of education, and parents, so that we all have a basic understanding of what our roles are. See, we've lost that. What our roles are. What are we supposed to be doing? Do you have a baby at 17 because you can? It's okay. And then you say, well, I can have this because I can get this, I can get that, I can get this. And then this gentleman is out, and then he's over here saying, well, there's a baby on the east side, there's a baby on the west side. That needs to stop. That's not good family values, in my opinion. And education is the only way to combat that.
Okay. Number 7. Only 1 out of every 4 Mobilians has a college degree. How can you attract high-tech companies if the city can't attract or retain college graduates?
I talked about that about 2 weeks ago, about the level of completion rate in high school. Public schools are good, public and private schools. They're both good because they provide education. But I think that the one thing that I looked at, teachers worked. When a teacher goes to a job, I think that their responsibility is just the one thing to teach. But teachers now have become parents. Teachers have become disciplinarians. Teachers have so much on them. I mean, Mr. Griffith, they really, really do. And I think it's very hard when you have 2 kids in a classroom struggling to learn, and then you got 100 over here just out of control, not respecting people. That's making it very difficult. I just think I'd like to see smaller class size. That's one of the things I'd like to see, which would be very difficult. because we're running on a teacher shortage, and we don't have that. But I just would like to see smaller class size. I'd like to see more activities taking place within the home. Now, I'm old-fashioned. I'm going to send you a homework list that says you've got to take out the trash at a certain time. You have to wash your dishes at a certain time. You have to clean the bathroom out. You know, kids do not have the values. And I think we need to go way back and just start building a value base. Because if you don't have any value base about anything, you don't care about school, my life, your life, or the police life, or the sheriff's life. You don't care about anybody. So I'm thinking that if we can put some kind of value-based system in the hands of the kids to take home to do, because I'm old-fashioned. If it can't start at my house, it can't go anywhere else. And, you know, that's how my parents were. In my home, it started at our house in the kitchen table. And I'm like, you know, our chairs may have been falling apart. She said, well, you still got to sit there the best way you can. And that was really important to me. So I think that with the high school level of kids dropping out, they're going to continue to drop out. This is going to be a crime problem. It's going to lead to more social problems. It's going to lead to people fearing walking down the street for somebody that's going to, you know, hit me in the head, because you get older and you have a limited amount of education. You don't have any values, and then you're jealous of everyone. It's like, oh my God. So as the mayor, I understand those problems being a social worker. I'm a licensed social worker. I started doing social work back in 1970. So that's over 30 years. The same things that I see now have grown. Just what those writers of those books saying. Families will change. Family values will change. Educational kids completing high school will change. I'd like to see every kid, by the time they get to the first grade, that they know how to count from 1 to 100, that they know all of their colors, that they know basic things that you learn in kindergarten, but you need to know all of those things. I want them writing sentences. They're like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? I want to push education so that by the time a child gets to the first grade, they're operating on a third grade level. That's how we're going to help that problem. And we need parents to be parents, to step up to the plate, to help teachers, so that these kids will know that, gee, I need to sit down and be quiet. I need to listen to Dr. Brown. She is in here talking to me today. And we need to make sure that we do that. And that's how I see that. I have long answers, so you have to get used to me.
Okay. All right, final question here.
Okay.
What is Mobile doing well, and how can you improve on it?
What is Mobile doing well? Well, without me being very critical, I've got to think of something. I think Mobile is doing good. I always want to give credit because the current administration has brought in new international companies here, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And I want to continue to support products and support companies coming. I also would like to add more conventions. We have wonderful facilities, but we don't have enough things within them daily. Our hotels are down maybe 40%. I'd like to see hotels operating 90% with something happening in the city of Mobile each and every day. That means a civic center. I understand at some point, I think I'm right, the mayor was looking at selling the civic center. I'm not going to sell anything here. I'm going to put something in the civic center, like conventions over there, smaller conventions, hockey team, love hockey, and more sporting events, soccer and things like that. So I'm looking to parks. Mobile is trying to do something good. So I don't want to say anything negative, because what I've seen on the news from watching you, watching Fox, they're coming out with something new. The new shopping mall that's going to be located out here, that's a good thing too. So I just want to continue to promote the good that's already on the table, and work with the council and work with the people who are in business and leadership with the chamber.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Brown.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good.